Alright, green. Ancient Imperiosaur. 7 mana, convoke 6/6 trample war 2. When it enters the battlefield with 2+1/+1 counter on it for each creature that convoked it. Oh, and it has trample? I mean, that card's kind of big. I don't know. Anyone that will want that kind of cards in standard tokens, something. War 2 is not. I wouldn't call it decent. It's not gonna save your creature from a removal spell, but I don't know. Probably not good enough for anything. Let's do destroy target artifact, battle, enchantment creature is flying, meh. Burgeoning. Ram spell in green. Visual mana of any color. It's not always the case. Hey Canister, thanks for the raid. I have to do my own set reviews because Canister doesn't invite me to his set reviews anymore. But you're all welcome. What's up, Adam? Mr. Simba. That effect doesn't really exist in standard right now, right? And Incubate 2 is like, I mean, you'd rather gain free life probably in a control deck than Incubate 2. Enchant land, Incubate 2, when you tap it. Obviously, cast Atraxa, obviously. Kami War, whatever you want to cast. Ramp into 5, ramps into Cruelty of Gix. It's bad against Thalia. Pretty bad against Thalia. Checking all the cards, yeah. Any good incubate cards for creativity or urge as well? A lot of the incubate cards are creatures. There's a white one that destroys an artifact or an enchantment or something. I forget what it does exactly. I don't know, that card's kind of whatever either way. Okay, I'm going to assume the commons are just bad because I'm an elitist streamer. Deeproot Wayfinder, 2/3. Deeproot Wayfinder, 2/3 for a green and 1 Merfolk Scout. Whenever it deals common damage to a player or battle, surveil 1, then you may return a land card from a graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Kind of scary cards. I mean, seems just fine, right? Blocks Babel, which is nice. Nice to cut down, which is not nice. Requirement. Thank you so much for a prime sub requirement. Welcome to Sewer, the Price Master. Cosmic Hunger is Rabbit Bite that hits battle too. Yeah, this card, yeah, I mean, whatever. Deeproot Wayfinder. Not trivial to have a land in your graveyard on turn 3. It's nice with fetch lands. With fetch lands, you're guaranteed to have a land. Is this the new Ragavan? Is this the green Ragavan? I think Cosmic Hunger will see some play. Maybe. Could add it to the list, I guess. I mean, the green decks have not been very good in standard, so it is nice with Atraxa lifelink. Green Ragavan has been called. I mean, Merfolk's not a bad. I don't know, blue-green Merfolk in Modern. Bring back Mutavaults, just more mana is always nice. Guess the mana base doesn't work very well with fish lands. What about in standards? I mean, it is a kind of a must kill. Can you enable it? You can cycle a land on turn 3, but it's unlikely you get to hit them if you're also not like playing a removal spell. Legacy was Wasteland. Nice. There's a Merfolk in center too, maybe when Ixalan arrives. Yeah, maybe. Green Black Explorer deck was fun. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you can really enable that card in standards. Seems good with Stivar. Yeah. Doomskar. Doomskar? Doomskar Warrior. Oh, that's a good one, right? That's maybe the best backup creature. 4/3 for 4, trampled, backup 1. Whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player or battle, look at the top many cards from the top of your library. You may reveal a creature, land card from among them, put them into your hand, put the rest on the bottom. I mean, that card definitely snowballs, goes unchecked. Explain backup. So you basically play it. If you have a creature, it gains +1/+1 counter and that ability. So you go, give my creature a +1/+1 counter, attack you, trample to, deal some damage, and you get to kind of draw a card right away. And then this card just, I mean, it does it every turn. So if you don't kill it right away. Backup gives haste. No, you have to have a creature in play to give it backup. I think that card might be good. It's also a human warrior, which is nice creature types. Backup value greater than. There's a red one we saw so far. It has weak stats. And I guess maybe it's done on purpose so it can combo with Yargle. Even if you kill it, they still get the ability. Yeah. But they only get they keep the +1/+1 counter. It's a counter, but they get the ability, the creature you back up only gets the ability for 1 turn. Add the Wayfinder to the list. I almost feel like Wayfinder is going to be better in like other formats maybe, but not sure how easy it is to enable in green. Weird card. These creatures are kind of random bits. Glistening Dawn is a thick card with Jennifer. What does Jennifer do already? The white 2-drop that draws a card when it gets counter can make a deck with a warrior. Oh, it's backup? Yeah, it works with a lot of things. We had that card in our list of good cards. What's it called? Legion Duelist. Yeah. I talked about battle. I don't know if there's much to talk about. I mean, it seems fine. It's interesting, I guess. I don't know. Cards seem balanced. Some seem good. Some seem less good. It's kind of like Planeswalkers. I don't have any hot takes. Sorry. Maybe it's a bit late, but I feel like this view works better with battles. Okay. Sure. This view. Yeah, I can click. I'm not above clicking. Alright, what does the green one do? Green, green X. When it enters a battlefield, search your library and or graveyard for a non-human creature card with mana value X or less and put it onto battlefield. If you're search your library this way, shuffle. So it's an expensive, whatever you want to call it, green Sun Zenith, except it's any non-human creature card, not just green. Huge defense, and then you get an 8/8 for each non-human creature you control. You may have that creature, so. Is that card any good? Seems pretty underwhelming. Too bad Asma is a human. Wars Grand Finale, yeah, card just seems bad. Vision of Ixalan, green 1. When it enters a battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a permanent card from among them, put into your hand, put the rest on the bottom. Unfortunately, not in the graveyard. 2 mana to see 5 cards. All the time when these cards were good, it was just the mill effect was important. Any permanents, creature, lands, enchantment, auto battles. And then it's 4 defense, it's a 4-free trample. Whenever you cast a spell, it gains indestructible. I mean, that seems bad, right? Does anyone want to play that card? Maybe we're just I'm just underestimating the whole, like, you know, it's not that hard to flip a 4 mana. The front part's so underwhelming. Five mana, Invasion of Shandalar, how dare they? When Invasion of Shandalar enters the battlefield, return up to 3 target permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. And then 4 defense, and you get an enchantment that says at the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a permanent card from your hand onto the battlefield. Seems bad, right? That was the first one they spoiled, the explosive vegetation. That ramps you straight into a Traxel. And it's not that hard to flip. And the flip side also helps you cast the Traxel. Ramps you into Herd Migration. Problem is, you still get tracked by the counters, and now you're taking a turn off, not impacting the board, to ramp into your 7 mana card that's just gonna get countered. I don't know. Which card? We're writing them down. I didn't want to like raid them because I felt like maybe it's better to say formats per formats, which one might be good, and maybe rank them at the end. Are you getting that right? I don't know. It's also just a bad late game top deck. You kind of, I don't know, it seems kind of mediocre. I mean, big score is legal too if you're playing red. Find the list. Sure, I'll post it in the Discord. I mean, don't expect a great piece of work, but just at least keeping track of it. Aren't 4 mana Ram cards already used in some decks? Wouldn't that be just a better version of them? Not right. I mean, there's Big Score, but Big Score draws you cards and enables the tracks that are like enables a lot of things. You can go infinite in standards with Cami of Whispered Hopes. Alright, 1/1 for a green and 2. If one or more +1/+1 counters would be put on a permanent you control, that many +1/+1 counters are put on a permanent instead. On that turn, meaning the Kami. So it like absorbs all the counters that go on anything. And then tap, add X mana of any one color where X is its power. It's hardened scales. Oh, if one or more +1/+1 counters would be put on a turn you control Demini. Oh, plus. Oh, okay, okay. So it's hardened scales and it taps for mana. Okay, where is that card good? There's loads of cards that give +6/+6 and untap. Okay, but how do you draw? How do you keep going? How can you go infinite? Spell Pierce your invasion of Zendikar sounds weird flavor. I mean, I Spell Pierce any 7 mana spell, but so the combo is very complicated, probably not worth going into. Okay. Feel free, I mean, we're not in a rush. Ah, that's the Civic Wayfinder. Overgrown Pest. A green and 2/2/2 pest. When it enters the battlefield, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a land or double face card from among them and put that card into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library. Someone was comparing to Vorak the other day. So we've got Vorak in standard, which is free, only looks at 4 cards, it only takes lands. What are other double face cards besides battle? Any good ones? Overgrown Vorak. Fable? Oh, Fable's rotating soon, but yeah, I guess. That's kind of funny. Good thing it's not a 1/1 for 2, can you imagine? Just even more consistently casting Fable on free. Werewolves, Fable, Sagas. Sagas are not double faced. Maybe some of them are. Vorak, I don't know. Vorak Milling's not super relevant right now. The TLDRs you can use Tivar to give your deck Suitor, Haste, use Kami, or Krail Clear Cutter with untapped pump spells to make infinite mana and then draw your deck with Shigeki. It's sweet, but needs way too many pieces. I mean, if all the pieces are okay on their own, sometimes this deck works. Is that card gonna see play? It's fine. Could be okay. If you have enough double face cards. Could be better than Vorak in some decks. I mean, Civic Wayfinder saw a tiny bit of playing standard, but that was like 15 years ago or 20 years ago. Ozolith, the Shattered Spire. Ozolith became green. Legendary artifact, green and 1. If one or more +1/+1 counters would be put on an artifact or creature you control, put that many +1 on. So it's another hardened scales again. Okay. 2 mana hardened scales. Green and 1 tap, put a +1/+1 counter on target artifact or creature you control, activate only as a sorcery, and it cycles. Okay, this card has way too much text. Someone tell me that card's good. See Unlimited Bomb.
$45 mois dans le sewer. C'est quoi mon vie?
Sounds like you have a great life, Tim. Thanks for your reset, bud. Hope you're doing good. Prob good in that archetype, I imagine, as a one of. More hardened scales. Without walking well at Sargo ETBs, skills won't be a deck in Pioneer. Alright, I'm gonna. I don't know, I guess. Is there enough stuff to be good in standard? Backup, I guess, +1/+1 counters. What else? What are other good cards at +1/+1 counters? Vorak can proliferate. I have a build of that combo deck if you want to see it. Yeah, I'd love to. Maybe we can come back to that card later. Toxic with +1/+1 counters. Knife cards, the Hydra. Alright, thanks. Let's see what the deck looks like. Tivar. Skyturtle. Tap, add an amount of green equal to its power. We're trying to make a lot of mana. Target creature gets +2/+2 and gains free until end of turn. Untap it. Target creature gets +6/+6 until end of turn. Where it plays mana value minus 5. Untap it. So you channel to get them back. You make a lot of mana. You channel to get them back. How do you trigger Kami? What's putting counters on in your deck? I don't even get it. I don't really get it. Oh, Shigeki plus turtle loops. I guess the passive on Kami doesn't matter. It's just there for its second ability. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, there's no way you're not going to get picked apart, but in theory, you can go infinite. Banshigeki, yeah. There's some infinite loop. Alright, oh, Polukranos. Triple green, 4/5, legendary creature Hydra. Reach. Blocks for Fiend, I guess. Blocks well. 6, transform. 6 or 7. 6/6, reach lifelink. Whenever it or another non-token Hydra you control dies, create a free green and white Phyrexian Hydra creature token was reach, and a free was lifelink. A bit like Wormhole Engine of Ruin. So you pretty much have to be mono green to play that in standard. Then it has a lot of devotion, but it's bad against removal, obviously. So it's just bad against Go for the Throat. Can you play a creature like that in a Go for the Throat format or whatever? Nah. Doesn't seem that good. It's better than Lost Strike Beast and Pioneer Mono Green. I don't know if you say so. I could believe that. But yeah, it's not really what you're missing. Like, there's a lot of matchups where Troll's just your worst card. I guess it's good because of Cure, I don't know. Ravenous Sailback. Block for Helion for 6 mana. That card still played last time. It was legal in standard a tiny bit. 4/5. It was Stompole or whatever. Ingrid Stompole, I think. Or it was a 4/4/4/5. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target artifact or enchantment, and it saw a tiny bit of play. This one's just free 4, but it can gain haste. Kind of whatever. 2000 free? No, it wasn't that long ago. Wasn't it the Copter PT? I think I had that card in my sideboard. The Copter PT. Am I crazy? Sandstalker Moloch for 2, flash, green, green 1. When enters a battlefield, if no one casts a blue or black spell this turn, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a permanent card from among them and put it in your hand. Wow. What a weird card. It's pretty strong cards. You hate Moloch? You think it's bad? Or you think it's too good? The timing. What do you mean? Yeah, I don't know. That card seems really good. I think it's going to be pretty restrictive not to play your free mana 4/2 to play Bangbuster. Well, it's fine. I mean, 4/2 for free mana is. It's like Ertai, right? You just play it and it's fine. I mean, Ertai is a bit better maybe because you have Rafine and other stuff to power it up. I could see playing like a bunch of formats. I don't know. Kind of hard to rate. Is it necessarily a sideboard card, or could you even play the main deck? Obviously, it depends on the meta, but is it good enough when it's good? To 4/2 flash for free. When is this set for in arena? I'm not sure. Next week. I added it to my whitelist thing. Thanks. Actually, I added it to my blacklist. It's kind of all over the place. I mean, that card could be good enough in every format. Not just even be good enough for modern, maybe. Veil is better. I mean, arguably, Veil can be awkward a lot of the time. Green instant. Mill 2 cards. You may put a permanent card from among the mill cards onto your hand. Gain 2 life. Oof. I like to gamble. Timberland Ancient. 6/5 reach trampled for cycling 2. Is this one the best one of the lot? In some like domain deck? 6/5 reach trample. Is it better than the white one? The white one might be more better utility. Do I not like the shark? No, I mean someone mentioned Force of Will and Commandeer, which is kind of a cool combo. Alright. Tribute to the World Tree. Green, green, green enchantment. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, draw a card. Spires for greater, otherwise put 2+1/+1 counter on it. That card seems good enough for Devotion. We talked about it when it got spoiled, I think. Obviously, it gives you more Devotion than Kiora. It doesn't untap, but turns your elf draws into Menace. Works was the token, too, from Wolfclaw Haven. Shark plus Leyline Binding. Yeah, that's a good combo, too. Oh, that card just seems pretty good. What it displaces? I mean, people have random flex slots in Green Devotion. You could just play 1 or 2 on top of Kiora, or you could trim a Kiora and play 2 or 3 tributes. You could play a free play. They also stack. Like a lot of the time, the Green Devotion deck just draws multiple Kioras and it feels all bad. Really good was Lovestruck Beast. Yeah. I mean, then your Lovestruck Beast can't attack though, but could be good. What about in Standard? Are we getting the tools to just play some mono green deck? You have Polukranos. You have the backup creature, even though it doesn't work very well with the 3-mana enchantment. You kind of don't want to. But I guess it's still fine. You have Wayfinder, it's decent. Do you have other good green cards? You have Evolving Adaptive, that's a good 1-drop. I mean, this card's just going to solo games if they can't get rid of it. But everyone can get rid of it. There's like Invoke Despair, Loran, Leyline Binding. I don't think a green aggressive deck wants a 4/5 reach or disenchantment though. I don't think a mono green mid-range deck has the same power. I mean, it feels like this card you can put in any mono green deck. Doesn't matter. You're gonna play cheap cards. You're gonna play Great Henge at home. You play Loran against green Stumpy with this as your only enchantment. I mean, if it's the only card that I'm scared of, sure. There's a 2-drop that gives it +1/+1, counters another creature when it dies. It also works with Ozolith, right? It makes your 1/1s 4/4s. This is all awkward because they both free mana, but I think that card's pretty good. People are definitely gonna try it. Vorinclex a real deal. Let's see. So far, all the others have seemed pretty bad. I think maybe Shield Red was my favorite one because it looked a little less bad and random than the others. 5/5, no, 6/6 trample reach for 5 mana. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for up to 2 force cards revealed and put into your hand and shuffle. I like that part. 2 forest cards, right? 2 triumphs? Wow. Damn, these. Okay. 8 mana. Exile it, then return to the battlefield and transform. No condition, just 8 mana. Milton cards put up to 2 creature cards from among them mailed onto the battlefield. I mean, is it even... You might not want to gamble. I'm kind of happy with your 6/6 trample reach. Dude, this reads 7+1/+1 counters on your creatures. Free until end of your turn, creatures you control gain 1. This creature fights. Okay. If you storm the festival, Vorinclex, flip it insta. How do you flip it insta? Nice Cincy for Storm, yeah. And it gets you the untap land for Storm, or two draws. Huge 2 blocks for Fiend and stuff. I mean, that card just seems pretty solid, honestly. Would like the main want to play that as its 5-drop? Drag to the bottom still kills it. Bridges the gap. There's not a lot of good 5-mana cards in that. You could replace Atraxa a bit. You could play just go down to 1 or 2 Atraxa. I guess it doesn't really replace Atraxa, but well, it's kind of late game win con. I don't think you play that card in Devotion, do you? Seems fine, I guess. Play 1. I mean, it's infinitely worse than Cavalier. It's not close, right? But not really lacking on the 5 drops. You're kind of happy with your Cavaliers. I mean, it might just be another dummy for Tribute. There's already a green deck that's like almost good in Standards. I played against it once. It had like the Super Dried Arbor card, and it was playing Nissa, and it was ramping, and I forget. I think it had Storm the Festival, maybe? No, maybe not. Like Polukranos Enchantment, that Vorinclex is a slot. The deck needs more help. Do you think that deck needs more 5-mana cards? I mean, this size of cards. 5-mana and this has pretty good magic cards. So I'm not sure how... You think this card's better than 5-mana Nissa? Seems unlikely. Maybe it's a better hit when you're popping off. If you have the extra mana. Whereas Nissa can maybe be underwhelming. Do like the name, does Vorinclex. Flip side looks very underwhelming, really? Yeah, it's among them. Yeah, you could break or hit just a couple elves. Alright, let's move on. Because I like save every time. I don't know. Yeah, not like the Vorinclex. The backside of Vorinclex doesn't seem as impressive as Abdad or Praetor Saga, but the front side is much better. Yeah, I mean Edict a creature or planeswalker could be good. And backside still like wins the game like in like 2 turns or 3 turns, like every other, like all of them. Wrenn and Realmbreaker. Green 1. Lands you control have add 1 mana of any color. +1, up to 1 target land you control becomes a free for elemental creatures with resistance, hexproof, and haste. Something like the end, after it's still a land. -2 mail free cards when you put a permanent card from among them in mail. Yeah, we talked about that cards. So you need to abuse all the modes. Potentially decent in like Greasefang, I think. We were talking about Greasefang, decks like that. Hexproof is nice with this guy's 7. See. Wrenn will be good into the main deck that's almost there in standard. Nah, it's not really a domain card. It's more of like enabler / threats. Fits Greasefang plan well because it enables stuff, and Greasefang also has the random beatdown draws. I mean, you're not going to play 4, but maybe you play 1 or 2. Transmogrify land. That's kind of cool. Hexproof. You can't get got. I like that. And the -2 is okay. I mean, you can hit a land. I mean, ideally, yeah, you want something that takes advantage of both modes. Maybe even the passive, but something that's like synergistic with a -2 ability, and then also has like a plan B beatdown plan, or Transmogrify is a cool idea to use a +1. Double green in standard is rough. Like, it doesn't go well at all with these other cards. What about in Devotion? With green Devotion, ever won that card? You can find it with Oath of Nissa, which is nice. It doesn't untap the land, obviously. It would be way too good if it did. So it would be like obscene if it did. Jaunt Reanimator in standard. Yeah, I mean, Jaunt Reanimator is kind of like a little bit of a, you know, mid-range deck. Yeah. It doesn't do anything green is missing. Yeah, but maybe it does it better. I mean, it's a worse card than Fable of the Mirrorbreaker. Maybe when Fable rotates and maybe the power level goes down and you need something to enable your Atraxa decks. I don't know. Yeah, gold's about to get exciting. Finally playable cards. Baral and Karizab.